get started. As far as the first part of this assignment, we are to identify characteristics and define our K-12 system. So this is my 12th year as an 8th grade science teacher. I teach over at my classroom is 100% face-to-face. However, for the past 3 years, I have had some integration of the classroom. We have access to the plethora of tools like Google Class to offer. So I'm trying as much as I can each year build more to it. The idea that this technology as far as characters here, I have that I am currently working on my master's in online ed. Like I said, I'm going to embrace this trend. The classroom has a lot of applications, programs out there that meet the needs of our students. I feel like it's increasing, and the digital media that's out there really does allow different methods of reaching all those students and helping get the education process going. I do teach a completely heterogeneous grouped class. All of my classes are varied in their composition. What I mean by that is I have students that have specific learning disabilities in the same classroom as students that have been labeled gifted at some point in their education. So because of that, I get a wonderful class load of students that have varying perspectives through and through. However, it does make a challenge on a daily basis as well. Seeing as you have a lot of varied needs that you need to meet every day. The second part of this assignment was connecting the readings about motivation and emotion to the video of Rita Pearson. And I have to say, first of all, the Rita Pearson is an amazing speaker. And I can only hope that I am that full of energy by the time I reach that point in my career. Looking at the target method and what Ms. Pearson stresses is really relationship building is a main facet of it, especially getting that motivation and emotion in the classroom from the students. Ms. Pearson had expressed the quote, kids don't learn from people they don't like. I believe in that 100%. And it's not if you can get the kids to like you per se in the sense that, they like their friends, but you have to build that rapport. And I subscribe to the fact that rapport gets you 90% of the way to a student. Okay, and it only takes that next 10%, setting expectations and classroom management to get them fully involved. Target method talks about how you want to make sure that the kids have ownership. They're stakeholders in their educational process. And as far as that goes, building that rapport is essential for that to happen. Ms. Pearson also talks about allowing students to make mistakes. She uses the example of the student that got a 2 out of 20 on that quiz, and instead of putting negative 18, she put a positive 2 on that quiz. That's so awesome. That's such a great way to take that scenario and make a positive out of it. Show that kid that they're still learning, they still got something right, and that's awesome. Make them feel that way about their education. That way it's not a defeatist attitude that you're fostering, it's more of a positive attitude that you're creating there. Okay? You gotta make sure that you're meeting the kids where they're at. This is all new to them. As far as the second aspect, connecting to the students with motivation, I fully believe from the readings, they stress the fact that us as teachers, we all have or were taught to, in a way, or we grew up in a way that is very unlike what students have today as far as technology goes. We're using non-digital methods to teach fully digitized students, if you will. They have never been in a world without a digital presence, which is crazy to think, but that's the new reality. I remember as a kid using the Dewey Decimal System in a library, and now we have instantaneous Google searches. So it's incredible how far we've come. I also feel that attention is in scarce resource today. That was a quote out of the readings from the book. for the class. And as far as that goes, I truly believe that you are only a small facet of the students' lives, and you're vying for a lot of attention from them. Um, you need to make sure that the attention that they're giving you is purposeful for them, making sure that they feel the need to participate in your class. The book also said that the death of and the need of instant gratification has kind of plagued current students. And I agree with this as well as myself. I have found myself, if I can't Google it and get an answer right away, I'm frustrated. And, this is coming from a person that grew up without a cell phone. So it's a very interesting aspect that we're combating now in the school system. As far as an area of development, where I'd like to develop within this class as a teacher is making sure I meet the kids at their varied needs. Like I said, I do have a lot of different perspectives, different students in my classroom, and I need to make sure that I meet them, or as many of them as I can, on a daily basis. So the idea of mastery goals really speaks to me as instead of performance goals. You're gonna have to have performance goals, marking those check boxes to meet this specific objective. But as far as the mastery goes, we have to make sure we promote that as an idea in our classrooms as well. So for me as a teacher, I need to remember to look at the whole student, not just my content area. Understand where the student is coming from, what their perspective is. I also need to make sure that I allow the learning process to take place and understand that it takes time. And we have to make sure we express that to the students, and making sure that they understand that mistakes are okay. That's where some of the best learning happens. We have these students that, as I said, are in a digital age, and we need to make sure that we ask them to get the mission accomplished, but we can't ask them to downgrade. We have to upgrade to meet them where they're at. So as far as that goes, we have to understand that this is a process, and we're going to develop new ways to meet them, and support them and help them in their education. For me as a student in this class, I want to make sure I make a conscious effort for literally what I just said. So making sure that I can develop a means to get this information, disseminate this information out to my kids, and meet them where they are. Make sure that I develop a classroom that allows them to become invested, and they all do feel connected to the classroom. I also want to make sure that all the students feel valued in the classroom. I know that is a part of the INACOL standards, and making sure that the students feel that they have a voice, and making sure that that is a priority in the classroom. I think that's all the time for me, so thank you very much for your comments, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.